Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And
are we live today?
We're not live today.
Oh, sad.
Why aren't we live like today? Or yesterday, I think.
Well, yesterday it was busy and we were behind.
And today it's kind of the same?
Yeah, we're busy and behind. I feel like that should be the new podcast name.
Busy and
behind with Charlie and Charlie.
I like that.
I like that too.
Not a bad idea. So that's a shame for everybody listening on delay.
But we're here.
We're here.
On YouTube.
On YouTube, on delay. So what are we going to talk about? ASAP Rocky. Today's the first day of his trial. He is facing 26 years or something? 24 years.
It's wild. So he was offered a plea deal, which a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, he should totally take that. It included 180 days in jail. But he did not take it and he rejected it. We'll talk about that.
Here we go. Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag. They are keeping their narrative going, and now they're suing the LA Power and Water, or is it Water and Power?
LADWP.
DWP, Water
Department
and Power.
of Water and Power.
They say that they're to blame for the fires, and there's no water to, hose out the fires, and so they're suing them for a lot of money, and there's 20 other households involved. And finally, one of the most interesting potential laws is taking effect over in Mississippi. It's got to do about self-pleasure.
Yeah. Thank God you don't live in Mississippi.
Oh, thank God, man. I'd get 40 to life.
Oh, yeah.
That was Branson's joke from earlier, actually. I stole that joke from Branson, a heavy masturbator. Oh, I've given away that. I've given away that.
Oh, my God. This is a roast session today.
All right. To begin with, ASAP Rocky, a.k.a. Rihanna's boo. He is going to trial today.
This is all over. Do you guys remember he allegedly shot ASAP Rocky in November 2021? So this was years ago. Well, now he's finally in court for this case. He's facing 24 years in prison.
Wow.
So he was offered a plea deal earlier this week, which included 7 years suspended sentence, 3 years probation, 500 hours of community service, 180 days in jail, and all for a guilty plea. And this is for 2 felonies in which he was charged: assault with a semi-automatic weapon. He turned it down and claims the deal would have cost him his livelihood.
I think
Sources tell us.
I think so because he's got a lot of brand deals with luxury brands.
Yeah.
And also he travels a lot for his music. He tours around the world. And when you got these sort of charges against you, then a lot of countries won't let you in.
Yeah, so he said, so sources close to him tell us that this would effectively end his career because he would lose all of his endorsement contracts, like you mentioned, which include Gucci, Puma, the Met Gala, can't miss the Met Gala, and most importantly, he would not be able to tour and his career would be over.
So instead, he's gambling and he might face 24 years behind bars. Could you imagine ASAP Rocky? He's just had, 2 or 3 kids, a bunch of kids with the best woman in the world.
Right, Rihanna.
My wife, Rihanna. And now he's gonna go to jail for a while potentially.
Well, he could. I mean, so they just started the jury process. So the jury, I thought was kind of interesting. The gender is split: 7 women, 5 men. Not a single juror is black.
Well, that is very interesting because everybody ASAP Relly and ASAP
and the
Rocky,
victim, yeah,
they're both black.
Yep.
The judge here is white. The
jurors are white, Asian, and Hispanic.
Okay.
And the jurors were asked if they would be influenced if Rihanna showed up to court, because we've seen this so many times where do you remember Diddy back in the day when he was in court? He was dating J-Lo. She showed up to court. Oh, really?
Does that make a difference?
I think so. I think so. And then how can you find a juror that's not a fan of Rihanna.
Didn't they? I think that the prosecutor and the defense, like, I think they had to ask the jury,
Yes.
potential jury questions. And some of the questions were like,
Rihanna related.
do you like Rihanna? Do you like her music? Do you own Fenty? What
Yes.
if she shows up to court? And so based on that, they selected all white jurors.
Well, not all white. There's Hispanic and
Oh,
Asian
okay,
as well.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I do feel like she has so much influence, and you know, the point is, if she were to show up, especially with their kids, you're kind of showing like I'm putting my reputation on the line because I believe in him, kind of thing. So people could be influenced by thinking like, well, if Rihanna's showing up, I love Rihanna, so she must know this is a good person, right? And so they might give him a little bit of a break.
It's interesting how maybe the two most beloved, well-liked celebrities, their significant others are going through it. Ryan Reynolds,
Right.
like the goodest guy in Hollywood, you know what I mean? And now he's like, has to defend his wife because now everyone's like, what are you doing, Blake? And now ASAP Rocky has gone through it, and Rihanna's, forced to like put her brand, her livelihood a bit on the line for her spouse. It's just interesting that they're going through it.
Yeah. So do you remember we've seen like even with Jonathan Majors when he was in court,
True,
Megan
Megan
Good,
Good.
who everyone loves, she would show up by his side, and it really does show or paint a picture of this person is innocent.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see if Rihanna shows up. I think she will.
I think she'll have to.
Yeah.
On to our next story. Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, they filed a lawsuit against the LA Department of Water and Power. So they are saying that this agency here in LA basically didn't have enough water on hand for them to protect their home, and 20 other households are going in on this big lawsuit with them, including Spencer's mum.
Yeah, because she lost her home as well.
So
just a reminder, Spencer and Heidi tragically lost their home in the Pacific Palisades. Spencer has been promoting Heidi's song. Like, everyone get Heidi's song, get Heidi's song. He had said in an interview, like, look, if we were rich, I wouldn't be on social media.
Bullshit.
They're struggling. That's what he claims.
I mean, can we just for a second pause on that? He says if he was rich, claiming that he's not rich now, even though his Malibu $1 million Malibu home burned down.
Pacific Palisades, but
just as good, to be honest.
No, Pacific Palisades is nice. For sure.
He says that he wouldn't be on social media. No, that's clearly his purpose. That's where he gets his ego from, and he would be on social media no matter how rich or poor he was.
Wow, you sound like a Spencer hater right now.
I'm not. I just like people just to be real. Like, of course he'd be on social media no matter how rich he was, and he is rich.
But
like, he's saying, if I was rich, I wouldn't be on social media. You own like a nearly $3 million house in the Pacific Palisades. Like, I rent over here, like it's just like you are rich. So anyway, moving on from that.
I guess it depends on what you think is rich, right? Like, people in Pacific Palisades have like $25 million homes. So if you're amongst all those, you might feel poor in a $3 million house, as like crazy as that seems to other people. But in California, you really can't, it's SoCal specifically, you really can't get a house for like less than $2 million, unless it's like a fixer-upper.
For Spencer and his family and neighbors to be blaming this, this government agency, the LA Water and Power, like, it's just like,
but
this was a massive, the biggest forest fire.
But people feel we weren't prepared, right? They even mentioned like that huge reservoir that was empty, had no water in it because it was being repaired. They're like, what happened with that?
But are you not supposed to repair it then? Like things need to repair.
But I think the whole issue was it was not repaired for like a year. It was just like sitting there.
Yeah, I think there's definitely takeaways and things that you learn and get better from. But to sue them, this was a massive, like a fire hydrant not working. That's not the reason that your house burned down. And this forest fire that was the size of Washington, D.C.
That's insane.
It's insane. And now like the fire hydrants will work on your street. Fire hydrants are for like, if there's like a house fire,
right?
Like
not a wildfire.
So I think just like there's no one.
Wouldn't that make you feel though, like if there was a fire hydrant and your house has flames and there's no water coming out? I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah,
it's one thing to have a fire hydrant and you're trying your best with the water that it has, but to have a hose connect to it and nothing comes out, I'd be fuming. No pun intended, actually. Bad choice of words.
but there's fire hydrants all around the Pacific Palisades and Malibu, and every single homeowner is trying to access that same water at the same time. Yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. We don't have that much water. Doesn't exist. I think maybe going forward they're going to try to figure out how to have huge reserves of water in case this happens again. But
the thing is that it's not like this is the only time California's been on fire.
True.
We are known for our insane fires. So the fact that this happened, knowing that these kind of disasters do happen in California, it's like, where was the thinking behind this?
I definitely think you're right about that.
With all the destruction, literally 2 cities obliterated, I think we can all agree something was amiss here.
Yes.
And it should never be like that again. We should definitely put as much resources and money into making sure that we can protect. This isn't just one house that burned down. This is thousands of structures.
16,000.
People died.
28 dead.
Yes. I mean, it was a total disaster.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't come out of nowhere. Like, there's hurricanes in Florida. There's hurricanes in Louisiana, and you try your best to be prepared knowing that's going to happen soon. So what the hell? And I think people want someone held accountable. And in this case, Heidi and Spencer think they're starting with LADWP.
Well, it'll be great, first few episodes of their new reality show they're trying to shop. I just think they're trying to keep this narrative going. Maybe I'd do the same thing if I was them. But, here I am sitting at the podcast desk and I'm allowed to criticize.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, that's true. And you know what? I'm okay with the criticism because at the end of the day, I hope that it will help save lives and homes in the future.
Okay.
When you criticize, people want change, right? That's what comes usually from criticism. So if we can change for the better to prevent another wildfire from getting out of control, I'm fine with that.
Very true.
Could be us next, Charlie.
Could be over here in...
Yeah.
Are we allowed to give our address? No, probably not. We live close to each other, don't we?
Yes, we do. We live in the same city. And we have like a massive wildlife protected area here. The wetlands, which hopefully that would never catch on fire, but like it is kind of a threat.
There's actually
homes.
There's gases and oil underneath the wetlands.
Oh
so
yeah, there's like the gas company. Oh
yeah.
No, I didn't even think of that.
Okay, on to our final story of the week: masturbation.
We're going out with a bang.
We're going out with a bang. Well, maybe not anymore because a Mississippi lawmaker wants to ban masturbation just for men. Just for men. Because, where does contraception start? Where does it start? This one particular lawmaker, Senator Bradford Blackman, believes that contraception begins at erection. That's what he said. I assume it's a man. Is it a man or a woman? Bradford Blackman.
I believe it's a man.
I would have thought, are you serious, bro? You're doing this to the rest of us?
Yeah.
So basically, this is just like an extension of what we're already doing with sort of like, no abortion and that. Like, why don't we go even further? And, guys have got, all of these potential lives that, end up in sort of like a Kleenex. And maybe they should be saved. Maybe that is murder. Is that murder?
I mean, some people do. And look, this is a bill that he's trying to pass. Basically, it's aiming to block men from spreading or wasting their seed unless they intend to make a baby. So the bill does have some exceptions.
What? Tell me.
Including sperm donation. Oh, so if you're donating the sperm, it's okay. Oh, man, those sperm banks are going to be packed with people.
yeah. True.
The line is going to be out the door.
Because this is the funniest part.
Okay.
There are going to be punishments if you're caught. So first-time violators.
How are you going to be caught?
That's an interesting thing. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe if you look up porn, but then you could claim that you're like, I wasn't masturbating. I was
just looking, taking a peek.
I mean, but did anyone really just take a peek?
Yeah.
First-time violators hit with $1,000 citation. Second time is $5,000. And if you're caught doing it a third strike and you're out, that's $10,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're planning to police this. I don't know if this law it's supposed to poke fun at the fact that we kind of have similar laws, but for women and sort of like abortion and why do they have to shoulder all of the sort of like legal repercussions of us trying to like limit abortion, that sort of like why don't men have to sort of like you're the start of it all. So
it takes two to tango.
You
You need an egg with a sperm, usually.
But women are free to have at it, I suppose. Just go
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
because when a woman,
Yeah, you don't have to explain.
there's no egg dropping, right?
No. I mean, but
So
once a month
then-
you have an egg drop, but I guess you can't help that.
Yeah, right. And you don't really know when
Mm-hmm.
that egg drops.
Doesn't it happen at the same time every month?
Does it? Ovulation? I don't know.
What? Aren't you the
Is that
woman?
yeah, honestly, this is so bad. First of all, there is not enough education about like what's going on with women's bodies. I'll put that out there
Even
right
for
now.
you.
Yeah, I mean, like I've taken many sex ed classes and I feel like I just recently learned that a woman is born with X amount of eggs.
Yeah, you're born with the amount of eggs you have your whole life.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
And every time you have your period, eggs gone.
That's correct.
So when you're in your 30s.
You just learned that?
Kinda, yeah, because, a lot of my friends, I'm in my 30s, right? A lot of my friends are doing like they're getting their eggs removed and like stored on ice and all that. So I have like heard stories from girls and talking about that, which sounds like a very painful, unenjoyable process.
Right.
But it's just crazy. Like they'll check to see like when you're about to do that, how many eggs you have left. And
Have you done it? Is this through prying?
No, I haven't done it. I don't think I'm gonna do it just because like your body is you're pumped with hormones, right? You're injecting yourself every day in the same spot in your stomach. And your body eventually will dump all the eggs it has, and then they go in and they surgically remove them.
Look at this science hour.
I mean, but also like painful, number one. And then number two, it's just like your body is made to believe you're pregnant. So things are happening and changing. Like when you're pregnant, it's not, I mean, look, I know women love it, but I've heard like horror stories. My friend's armpits turn dark brown. All her pubic areas dark brown because of the hormones.
Which friend?
I know.
It's not an easy process.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when this law would take effect, but imagine if it took effect like January 1, 2026.
Oh, God.
And we got like 12 good months left.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of like aggro men if
Would.
that goes into effect.
Yeah, the blue ball law.
Oh.
On that note, I'll see you later, Charlie, because I'm
I know.
away.
You're going to Australia. How
Australia.
long are you going to be gone for?
2 weeks. I'll be there 2 weeks.
Oh, my God. We're going to miss you.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to have to hold down the fort in your place.
I think you'll do pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I think you do good.
All right.
Without me here. Maybe I'll come back and there'll be no seat left for me.
Oh, you'll be replaced by Edward or someone else.
I don't know that Edward will be the one to replace me. Maybe
Wow, shots
Nah,
fired.
Edward's all right. I like Edward. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening, and thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and we'll see you guys here next week.
Bye.